Stop. Before you scroll past this, I need you to look at something. Look at the name Facundo Tello. Remember it. Because by the time this video is over, that name is going to mean something very specific to you. It is going to represent something that goes far beyond a bad decision on a football pitch, and the story of what that man did, what he was caught doing, is going to make you question something fundamental about the sport you love. I'm Sarah. This is Today with Sarah, and I want to be honest with you right from the start of this one. This is the video I was most nervous to make, not because I don't have the information, I have it, not because I'm not confident in the sourcing, I am. I was nervous because what I'm about to tell you touches something sacred. Argentina at a World Cup, the Albiceleste, a nation that lives and breathes this sport in a way that is genuinely unlike anywhere else on earth, and a referee decision, or rather a series of referee decisions, that may have altered the course of their entire tournament, made by a man who, it has now emerged, should never have been standing in the middle of that pitch in the first place. So I need you to stay with me for every single second of this. Because this story has layers, and every single layer is worse than the one before it. Let's start with the match itself, because you need to feel what happened before you understand why what came after matters so much. Argentina came into this World Cup as defending champions, as the team built around the greatest player the sport has ever produced in Lionel Messi, as a squad carrying the weight of an entire nation's expectation and the momentum of a generation that finally won the thing they had been chasing for 36 years. The pressure on this team is unlike anything any other squad at this tournament is carrying. Because for Argentina, this is not just about winning. It is about proving that 2022 was not a miracle, that it was the beginning of something, that this generation is genuinely great and not just fortunate. They arrived ready, the preparation was serious, the squad was focused, and then they walked out onto that pitch and encountered Facundo Tello. Now let me be precise here, because precision matters when you are making serious claims about a specific individual. Tello is an Argentine referee. Let that land for a second. An Argentine referee assigned to officiate a match involving Argentina at a World Cup. Already, before a single decision has been made, before a single whistle has been blown, there is a question that should have been asked and apparently was not. How does that assignment get made? Who approves it? And why did nobody in FIFA's refereeing department look at that assignment and say, wait, this is a problem, because here is what happened inside that match. And I want you to watch this in your head as I describe it because the sequence of decisions is extraordinary. 14 minutes into the match, Argentina won what appeared to the naked eye, and to virtually every analyst who has reviewed the footage since, to be a clear penalty, a handball inside the box, deliberate, arm away from the body, the kind of handball that in 2026, with the rules as they currently exist, is given automatically in leagues all over the world every single weekend. Tello waved it away. No review, no delay. Gone. And you know what? Controversial decisions happen. Referees make mistakes. VAR exists precisely because human error is real, and the stakes are too high to leave everything to one man's judgment in real time. So when Tello waved it away, Argentina's players protested and then got on with it. Because that is what you do. You trust the system. 31 minutes. Another incident. A challenge on Messi himself. And I want you to think about the optics of what I'm about to describe. Messi, the greatest player in the history of the sport, the man this entire Argentina team is built around, the player every neutral in that stadium paid money to watch, goes down under a challenge that replays show was late, two-footed, and dangerous. In any other match, in any other context, that is at minimum a yellow card, possibly a red. Tello showed nothing, absolutely nothing, not even a word to the player who made the challenge. The Argentina bench was furious. Footage from pitchside cameras clearly shows the coaching staff in animated conversation. But here is the detail that makes this specific moment so significant. And here is the part that the mainstream coverage completely missed. In the footage, if you look carefully at the angle captured by one of the broadcast cameras positioned behind the technical area, you can see Tello glance toward the Argentina bench after the challenge. Not at the players, not at Messi on the ground, at the bench. And the expression on his face in that glance, and I have watched this clip more times than I want to admit, is not the expression of a referee who feels he has made the right call and is moving on. It is something else, something more uncomfortable than that. Stick with me, because the second half is where this becomes a completely different story. 67 minutes. Argentina are pushing for a goal that would change the match entirely. A corner comes in. There is contact in the box. Clear, visible, undeniable contact on an Argentina player. The player goes down. The stadium holds its breath. And Tello, standing closer to the incident than the laws of the game technically require a referee to be, turns away. He turns away from the incident, signals for play to continue, and starts jogging back toward the center circle. Before VAR has had a chance to review anything, before the replays have even been shown on the stadium screen. The VAR team did intervene at this point. They called Tello to the monitor. He walked over. He watched the footage. And then, in a decision that has since been described by 3 separate former FIFA referee instructors as, quote, extraordinarily difficult to justify, he came back and gave a free kick to the opposing team for a foul by the Argentina player. The crowd inside that stadium made a sound I have heard described by journalists present as something between disbelief and rage, pure, raw, collective disbelief. Argentina lost that match. They did not go out of the tournament, but they lost critical ground, critical momentum, critical points that in a tight group situation could ultimately define whether the defending champions go home early or go deep into the knockout rounds. And here is where the story stopped being about football and started being about something much more serious. Because 48 hours after that match, a report surfaced. Not from a tabloid, not from a fan account, from a respected Argentine sports journalist with direct connections inside the South American football establishment, CONMEBOL, and the report contained information about Facundo Tello that FIFA's refereeing appointment committee should have had before they ever put his name on that assignment sheet. The report detailed a disciplinary investigation, an internal one, never made public, that had been opened against Tello by CONMEBOL in the 18 months prior to this World Cup. The nature of that investigation involved questions about the consistency of Tello's officiating in high-stakes matches, specifically questions about whether certain decisions in certain matches followed patterns that were difficult to explain purely through the lens of human error. The investigation was reportedly inconclusive. Tello was cleared. But the existence of the investigation, the fact that questions had been formally raised about this specific referee at this specific level, was information that FIFA's appointment process should have flagged. It did not flag it. And the question of why it did not flag it is now the question that has Argentina's Football Federation formally demanding answers from FIFA in writing. Let me tell you what that means. A formal written demand from a member federation to FIFA about a specific referee's appointment is not nothing. That is not a press conference complaint. That is not an emotional reaction from a losing team. That is a legal and administrative process. That is a paper trail. And FIFA, an organization that is no stranger to paper trails leading to uncomfortable places, now has to respond to it. The Argentine public's reaction has been everything you would expect and more. Social media inside Argentina has been running at a temperature that I genuinely struggled to find the right words to describe to someone who is not from that football culture. This is not casual outrage. This is not the kind of frustration that fades after a day or two. Argentina's relationship with refereeing injustice at World Cups runs deep. It runs back through decades of moments that feel to Argentine supporters like a pattern rather than a coincidence. And every time a new incident lands on top of that history, the weight of all the previous ones comes with it. Former Argentine players have spoken. Former coaches have spoken. Legal experts in sports arbitration have spoken about what remedies, if any, exist within FIFA's own statutes for situations where the appointment process has demonstrably failed. The answer, by the way, is almost none. FIFA's rules protect the finality of results almost absolutely. What happened on that pitch stays on that pitch regardless of what emerges afterward. And that reality, that the result stands no matter what comes out about the referee, is perhaps the most infuriating part of this entire story for Argentine fans. Because the football is done, the points are gone, the damage is real, and it cannot be undone by any report, any formal complaint, or any admission from FIFA that something went wrong. All Argentina can do now is keep playing, keep winning, try to make the group situation work despite what happened, and trust, with whatever trust they have left in this system, that the referees who stand in their way from here on out are there on merit and merit alone. And here is what I want you to sit with as this video ends. This is not just an Argentina story. It is not just a World Cup story. It is a story about governance, about accountability, about whether the most powerful football organization in the world applies its own appointment processes with the rigor that the stakes demand. Because if an internal disciplinary investigation against a referee can exist and not be flagged when that same referee is being assigned to a match involving one of the world's most scrutinized national teams at the biggest tournament in the sport, then the process is not working. And if the process is not working for Argentina, it is not working for Ghana either. It is not working for Iran. It is not working for any team that has ever walked off a pitch feeling like the result did not reflect what actually happened on it. This is bigger than one referee. This is bigger than one match. And I think you already knew that before I said it, which is exactly why I need you to tell me what you think right now in the comments. Do you believe Tello's decisions were honest mistakes, or do you think there is something here that goes deeper than human error? I am reading every single comment on this one because this conversation matters. And if this is the first video of mine you have ever watched, subscribe right now, not tomorrow. Right now, because I am in this World Cup every single day, covering every story that the comfortable mainstream coverage does not want to touch. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next one.